Elvis Presley weds Priscilla Ann Boldulo, and one of America's richest teenage singing idols promises to love, honor, and obey. The couple first met
Elvis. Shoot.
Both are Memphis natives, and Elvis, 32,
I was still in Memphis, and I couldn't get away from Elvis. He was everywhere. My name is Paul Provenza, and I'm a comedian. But I didn't feel very funny after my week at Uncle Ha Ha's Chuckle Hut. The Memphis crowd just wasn't digging me. I couldn't help wondering how he did it. Elvis was loved by... Maybe I didn't wiggle my hips the right way or have the right curl in my lip. Or maybe I should have worn a cape. I was stuck in a cheap motel room that was closing in on me tighter than Elvis's last jumpsuit. I was smothering in Elvis. One more reminder of Elvis and I was gonna snap. I had to go out and get some air. Bad idea. No matter where I went, Elvis chased me, like, you guessed it, a hound dog. It was Elvis this and Elvis that. Why, it seemed like if you slapped a picture of Elvis on it, you could sell a pack of cigarettes to the Surgeon General. He's still making more money than I am, and he's dead. What did he have that I don't have? Besides an almost insatiable desire for pork and pork byproducts. In Memphis, all roads lead to Graceland, and that's where I ended up. For those who worship Elvis, Graceland is the Vatican, and Elvis is the Pope, except with gaudier clothes. The wall in front has become a shrine where the faithful come to pour out their hearts, leaving devoted, loving, almost sacred messages. To speak to Elvis, call 1-800-I-AM-DEAD.
All right, bad example.
Elvis Presley's Cadillac. $5 to sit behind the wheel of a Cadillac once owned by Elvis Presley himself. Felt great, didn't it, son? Go right ahead, sit right there behind the wheel. Feels good, don't it? Feels good. $5, folks, $5 to sit in the car once owned by Elvis Presley.
Oh, I don't believe this.
Hey, buddy, how would you like to sit behind the wheel of Elvis Presley's Cadillac?
Oh, come on, this isn't Elvis Presley's Cadillac.
Yes, it is.
It is not.
Yes, it is.
It is not.
Yes, it is.
Oh, look at these people. He's ripping you off. What a rook.
You know what? You look like just the guy who needs to sit behind the wheel of this here Cadillac.
Oh, you $5 to sit in the car. No, forget it. How much to look at it? $250? That'll be fine.
I'm
Thanks.
sorry, folks. The show's over. Show's over.
What?
That's it. I'm sorry. Out of the car, young lady. I'm sorry.
I have seen some scams in my time, but this is a beaut.
You know what, my friend? I think you need to have an authentic Elvis Presley souvenir. That's what I think.
Oh, an authentic one?
That's right. How about a handful of Elvis Presley's dead batteries?
Oh, yeah, that's what I want. A dead singer's dead batteries.
How about Elvis's insoles?
Yeah, I already have some, thanks.
His bath mat?
Oh, come on, this isn't Elvis's stuff. Wow, look at all those pills.
Those are vitamins, that's all.
They are not.
R2.
Are not.
R2.
Are not.
R2! You don't believe in Elvis, do you?
What is it with all of this Elvis nonsense? Enough already.
Let me tell you something about this car, son. Pretty, ain't it? You know, Elvis Presley himself once owned it. In 1958, he walked into Howard Massey's Cadillac dealership, and he purchased it and gave it to a person, who in turn gave it to somebody else, and so on and so on and so on. Here, I want you to sit inside this car. Feel it. Feel the power, the aura, the Elvisness.
The Elvisness? Look, if you're trying to sell me the car, I'm not interested, all right?
No, I can't sell you this car. No, I have to give it away. And you, my friend, you are the chosen.
I am not.
R2.
I am not.
R2.
I am not.
R2. Seize the moment. It can change your life.
Look, I don't know what your angle is. What, is the car stolen or something like that?
Look, there's two things to remember. One, don't be cruel.
Look, I don't want the... Hey.
And two, pump the brakes, you stick.
Hey, I don't want... Hey, where are you? Hey, I don't want this car. I'm not... I'm sorry, it's not my car. Okay.
The guy was part Yoda and part Mr. Haney from Green Acres. The car was a '58 Cadillac convertible. It was just like a regular car, but without all those pesky little safety devices. And it had a mind of its own.
Elvis has just left the building. Those are his footprints right there.
It seemed to be telling me exactly where it wanted me to go. It was as though free will was not standard equipment on this car. In fact, it wasn't even offered as an option. I was going to Graceland 2 in Holly Springs, Mississippi, to visit the world's #1 Elvis fans.
I'm gonna sit right down and mail myself to Elvis. Return to sender. Make that address heaven, COD.
Hi, I'm Elvis.
I started this collection when I was 13 years old when I saw Elvis on a Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey show. And I started the collection then, and I haven't stopped to that day, and nothing will stop me now. Even to the day I die, I'll be buried world #1 Elvis fan in that gold suit back here. To tell you the honest to God truth, most of the happiness I've known in my whole life has been from what Elvis brought for me. And that's the way I feel. I even named my son here. His name is Elvis Aaron Presley McLeod.
So how many items would you say you have in your collection here?
Thousands. We've even got rid of the furniture, believe it or not, so we'd have room for the Elvis stuff. And we work on this collection here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year we're at it. Cataloging all this information on Elvis as an archivist for fans worldwide.
This is our periodical room. What we've done here is collect numerous publications of periodicals on Elvis, from TV guides dating back from 1956 to present day, to books from 1956 to present date, and magazines from '55 to present date.
And what we've done here in back of us is we're kind of doing a stairway to Elvis. We got more statues that we got to put out here, and we're going to do the whole complete stairway. And Elvis has even got a book talking about the Stairway to Elvis by, who is it, Elvis? Van Zeppelin? Huh? What we got in here is we've done this into a newspaper room, and I believe we got one of the world's largest newspaper collection on Elvis. All these clippings here represent from headlines of Elvis's death from Tennessee to Moscow, covering the whole world.
What's that up there on the back?
That's the first flowers that was put on the mausoleum grave up there. It took 100 vans to bring the flowers there.
Dried flowers from Elvis's grave.
Yeah.
Make a nice potpourri.
Yeah.
So these are pieces of carpeting from Elvis's home from Graceland?
Yeah, come out of the den area. And I've had these made up for the documentation of it.
Elvis may have stood on that very piece of carpet, is that right?
Yeah, I've also got a piece of the rubber that goes with it also.
Oh, if these stains could talk, huh? Now, these are volumes of books that just, of TV shows that just mention Elvis? They're not even TV shows about Elvis?
No, if it's about Elvis, we have a catalog. If it's not about Elvis, no matter how minute the information is, whether he's mentioned briefly, whether his music is playing, whether a talk show band plays one of Elvis' songs, where there's pictures shown way off in the background. If it's something about Elvis, no matter how minute, how large it is, strictly about him, not about him, it's cataloged. There's over 1,350 of these plastic binders throughout the house. In this particular room, there's over 350. We ran out of binders and had to order 1,000 more. We have a stack of paper this tall to catalog. And individual binders, which represents an individual category on Elvis. This is 1992 TV, Volume 8. An example here is this program's Tonight Show with Jay Leno. It was dated August 25th, 1992, 10:35 p.m. It came on Channel 5 NBC Network, affiliate with WMC TV out of Memphis. Now, the time Elvis was mentioned was 10:52. The star represents that in the TV guide, this is all it said about Elvis. But all this information is kept track of that way. My dad and I are on 12-hour shifts.
I'm exhausted. It's like talking to Rain Man.
Well, since 1981, we've burned out 6 TVs in the process of keeping track of all this information. You can only run a TV so long, which is the same for a VCR, since we've burned out 4 since then.
You keep them running almost 24 hours every day?
Yeah.
How many tapes in each trunk?
There's hundreds and hundreds of tapes, not an exact figure, because everything's chronicled to one trunk, so you can look it up through the information in here.
You got to get out more.
I am Paul McLeod's mother. That's my grandson, Elvis McLeod.
And you were born on Elvis's birthday. And your son and your grandson are spending their lives keeping Elvis's memory alive.
That's right.
That's not a coincidence, is it?
No, that's their heart's desire. That's right. That's what they live for day by day.
Okay, now this is a photo of your son, Elvis.
Yeah. I took this picture right after I had explained to him about Elvis dying, and he couldn't take him to the last concert that I was going to give in Memphis Coliseum over in Memphis, Tennessee. And when he finally caught on and everything and understood, he just started crying in this picture here when I took it.
And have you ever seen Elvis perform live?
Oh, yes, yes. My son took me to see him, and it is just absolutely beautiful. To see him come in on that stage, it just brought a holy hush all over the whole complete millions of people. And to me, he just looked like a heaven-sent, I don't just know how to describe it, but he's a prince. He brought joy unspeakable and gladness and even healing to people's hearts. Because, I mean, he had that power and that anointing to lift people from the valleys right on up into a glorious atmosphere.
Did you get to meet Elvis?
I did have a real revelation and a divine visitation from Elvis in the spirit that it's just undescribable to me, but it was real, is just like I'm sitting here seeing you right face to face. This happened to me. In my bedroom about 3 o'clock in the morning, the whole room just lit up just as bright as the noonday sun. And in this here beautiful light, there I beheld Elvis Presley in that beautiful white uniform. And it just lit up, and it just, everything just began to sparkle like diamonds, you know. And then he came to me, and he put his arms around me, and he hugged me, and he kissed me, and he says, I want you to know I love you. I love you. And he took both of my hands like this, and he just squeezed them like that, and he looked down on me and gave me the most beautiful smile you ever seen. And he nodded his head, and he says, but I gotta go.
All right, now, where's your wife now, Elvis's mom?
After staying around me for 22 years, it kind of got to her. She couldn't take it anymore, so everybody must part their ways, and just like Elvis and Priscilla parted their ways.
So she said it's me or the Elvis stuff, and you said, bye-bye.
That's it. You got it.
He touched the whole world. You know what I mean? He was the greatest.
Helen, you know something? I think if Elvis had ever met you, he would have given you a Cadillac.
Wouldn't that have been wonderful? Oh, wouldn't that have been glorious? Oh, my God. I've been the happiest person in the world.
I had just spent the day with people who were basically counting backwards from infinity. Yet I couldn't help thinking that Elvis had really drawn those people together. I hadn't seen a family that close and that devoted since, all right, the Manson family. At first, I figured this Elvis obsession was just a Southern thing. Local boy makes good, you know? Well, I soon found out that it had spread wider than one of Elvis's collars.
Oh, Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made.
I see the stars and hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed.
When Christ shall come, shouts of acclamation, and take me home, with joy shall fill my heart.
Then I
Then sends my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sends my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Well, I was fascinated by how a southern country boy like Elvis could cross cultural lines.
Well, I'm southern too. It's only a different South, you know. It's like Elvis is for everyone. It's not just a job for a white man anymore. It's multicultural. You know, this is global world Elvis. There's Japanese Elvis, you know, Korean Elvis. Is everything. It's like everybody's opportunity to be king for the day.
Don't you think it's enough already with Elvis? I mean, sure, he was great. He was a great singer. He was a great entertainer. He was a great performer. But isn't this getting just a little carried away?
Are you crazy? Every year it's just going to get bigger and better because the farther we get away from the real thing, we will build it up in our minds and it'll become bigger than life and bigger than a legend. And it's just something that's going to last for eternity, so you better get used to it, bucko.
Well, what's your favorite Elvis memorabilia here in this
Well, my favorite
room? I like the revolving Elvis showcase, too.
Well, that's the
rather
rotating
beautiful.
carousel of Elvis. And I got many fine things in there, like Elvis buttons and Elvis, an actual roll of toilet paper stolen from Graceland, the roses from his grave, Chester bottles.
Excuse me. Did you say toilet paper stolen from Graceland?
Yes, it's
All right,
actually
I was just checking.
toilet paper stolen from. Elvis fans always got to have some Elvis around them. And if you go to a good fan's house, they will always have bath towels or sheets or, you know, pillowcases that are Elvis-ness. And also, you know, just keeps your morale up to have so much Elvis around.
Why do you think this never happened for Robert Goulet?
This is a folk art masterpiece, a fine job of recycling. This is the Elvis throne. Now, this is an exact replica of the throne that Elvis sits on in rock and roll heaven. And it says EAP Elvis Presley. On the back, it says returned to sender. American bottle caps, American tin, padlocks representing the lock that Elvis Presley has on our hearts. This is a chair truly fit for a king. Who will be the king?
Oh, jeez, my feet are killing me.
Man, this chair's taken for the real king.
Did people really think this Elvis-ness could actually bring the world together? Gandhi and Martin Luther King couldn't do it. The star of Clambake was going to pull it off. I wasn't even sure anymore if I was trying to find Elvis or if Elvis was trying to find me. So, well, tell me about the statue. What are the specs on this baby?
It weighs 5,000 pounds. It's 9.5 foot tall.
5,000 pounds?
5,000 pounds.
And isn't that pretty much Elvis's weight right before he died? I see you've hit some serious speeds with this baby. There's bugs in his teeth.
Oh, yeah.
What do you do, hose him down every once in a while?
I wipe him down every once in a while.
The man wipes the king down, ladies and gentlemen. Do you make money off him?
Oh, I make money off of it, yeah. I get $400 a day for it. I rent it out.
Well, who do you rent it out to?
Parades and grand openings and car salesmen, you know, for car promotion sales.
What sort of car promotion do you do with this? What do you say, give one of these away, Elvis would have?
They have a king of king sales. You know,
A king of king sales.
King sales.
Well, that's not sacrilegious.
We've had wrecks about cars when I was pulling down the road for people hanging out the window, taking pictures, videotaping it. It's a head turner.
Let me ask you something, in all honesty. Don't you think some of these people that come out to take pictures of the big giant Elvis statue, don't you think they're a little off?
No. Why would they be off? They're Elvis fans.
Okay, now what happens? You're driving down the highway, some truck driver sees Elvis whiz by him at 50, 60 miles an hour. What happens?
Well, a lot of them say they're glad they didn't run up on him in the fog. They would think they had an Elvis sighting, and one guy thought he was seeing things and told the other truck driver after he verified that he saw it too that he just threw all of his dope out the window because he thought he was the only one that saw it.
You ever take him to Vegas?
Nope.
I think he'd be big there. Hell,
Probably
he'd
would.
be big anywhere.
Big now.
I couldn't believe somebody built a 2.5-ton concrete Elvis. I couldn't believe it was traveling America's highways. I couldn't believe it was getting better mileage than me. There was a simple philosophy at work in this Elvis world. I think Elvis, therefore I am Elvis. I was going to visit the world's #1 Elvis impersonator. They say when he sings, the crowd goes wild and women pass out. I thought he must have one glamorous life.
I have 10, 15, 10, 10, 15, anyone else a $15 pair warning. Sold out, $10 right here.
I've always liked Elvis music and sing along with it. And a couple people told me I sounded like Elvis.
20 and 20 there, and 10, 15, 12 and 20 there. Who needs one for $15?
But I never thought I could look like Elvis. And of course, I never thought I'd ever get the chance to entertain anybody. That's why I became an auctioneer.
Became an auctioneer to become an entertainer?
It is entertaining. It's conducting business, but at the same time, you got to keep it fairly light, at least we do.
And another toilet seat. You're going to buy all this. Give $2 there. Give me $1 bid for your mother-in-law. Give $1 bid now, too.
Just got to get these sideburns where he had them, see. Oh, yeah, for about 11 years.
Which do you make more money doing?
Anybody interested in any of these washers up here besides myself?
Right now, my Elvis is controlling my income.
Folks, I'm selling washing machines now, up here. Maytag. On the washing machines, I'll give you choice one time.
Did you ever do Elvis while you were auctioneering?
No.
Don't you think you'd move some product if Elvis were pushing it?
Sold out $50, you get them all for $50.
Now, I'm starting to see the resemblance already.
And who get 15, you're buying that machine, there, give me down 50, there, give me down 50. Who get 25 and go?
Always wanted to put the King's jumpsuit on.
Prime an expensive piece there, give 25. We get 25, get 10. $10 and 10 there, give me down 10, get 10, there, give me down 10. What do you think, sir? Give 10. Who get $5 quick?
Oh, man, I can hardly believe it.
You know, he always did this. There we go. That's enough.
Mike Albert's Elvis impersonation turned out to be eerily accurate in every detail. He had the look, the voice, and the moves. He even had the one thing an Elvis impersonator really needs to complete the picture. He had a Colonel Parker impersonator. It was Colonel Sanders.
Can you believe it? Somebody hit this beautiful car with an egg.
How existential.
Trying to get it off.
Couldn't help but notice the car bears a striking resemblance to a chicken.
Yeah, it's a promotional vehicle. My wife would probably call me a compulsive promoter. You get a light bulb goes off and you get some idea. You see, if I would have known there was 3,000 Elvis impersonators that existed, I never took the project. But I didn't. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know there was one. I knew there was him, Mike Albert. And the first time I saw him was when he popped out of the car. And there he was, and I said, darn, he does look like Elvis. And 6 weeks later, after releasing the video, we're doing concerts. We're charging $17.50, $19.50 a ticket, and they're reserved tickets.
What kind of money does this guy make?
Makes excellent money. And, you know...
could he buy a chicken car if he wanted?
He could buy a couple. The thing that made it special is, like, got the original Jordanaires, the original backup group for Elvis Presley.
Do the Jordanaires work with any other Elvis impersonator?
They work with a few, but to tell you the truth, they don't really care to work with them, but, you know, they get paid.
So how come Mike is the highest paid Elvis impersonator around?
Because he's the best.
Well, what makes him the best?
Because he's the highest paid.
You know, I find it interesting that you represent an artist who impersonates Elvis, and your marketing style is so much like that of the infamous Colonel Parker.
I was born on the same day as the Colonel. I didn't know it, but the Colonel used to have chickens. He had chickens in his early career in the carnival.
It's psychic.
Right.
And the Colonel had chickens, and you have the chicken car.
Yeah.
And people ask, is there a God? All right, now this whole Elvis thing, you gotta admit, it's pretty much a cash cow, right? It's been good to a lot of people. Now, I'm thinking of cashing in on this myself. So if I came to you and said, hey, I want to become an Elvis impersonator, how would you sell me? How would you make my promo tape?
Well, when we were in Las Vegas at the Elvis Impersonator Convention, which was the third one, okay, the third one, and I've been talking to these guys for 3 years. We do some promotional videos for other Elvis. Elvis are the terminology used for plural Elvis when you run into a lot of them, okay? And I put them all into a limo, you know, a long stretch with 2 sunroofs. And, you know, we back it up and we had to pull the people out of the casino and get them to participate. And as Elvis jumps out, Elvis number 1, you know, crowd cheers, back it up, Elvis number 2, you know, and we then, through the magic of editing, you know, we can create a promo tape that sells their show and makes them into somebody.
So you feel like you're pretty much spreading joy through the world.
Well, we're helping those guys out. It's a business, you know.
My name's Vic Duran, and I'm a truck driver.
My name is David Warren. I'm from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm a full-time entertainer.
Printer by trade in Chicago, Illinois.
Full-blood Cherokee Indian and from Orange County.
My name is Ace Cry. I've been doing Elvis professionally for 5 years. We've toured all over Korea, Japan, Australia.
I'm a legal assistant at a law firm, and I'm just kind of doing that part-time.
And I work for the personnel department of a major insurance company.
A city delivery driver. This is what I do.
My name is George Thomas. I'm a full-time actor.
I was a truck driver for a long time.
I am a physician. Work at St. Joseph's Medical Center in Yonkers, New York.
I did a little bit of everything, man.
I just wish I would have got closer to him. I've been doing all this for 15 and a half years.
Over 25 years?
I've been doing it right about 6 years now.
There are guys out there that does change personalities. They believe they start becoming Elvis.
What'd you say about me, man? They say I sound just like him.
I'm not Elvis Presley by any means.
All right, so now get the hell out of here. You're fired. You're off the payroll. Hit the road, man. I mean it. Right now, you're fired.
I had no idea just how many Elvises were out there. They come from all over the world and from all walks of life. And they seem like ordinary people just like you and me. But you never know who might actually be an Elvis. It could be anybody. That fella down the street, your coworker at the office, maybe even your own sons and daughters. The question must be asked, are you now or have you ever been an Elvis? As I dove deeper and deeper into the mystery of Elvis, I had passed through the looking glass, into a world where up was down and down was up, and white was black and black was white.
It was not just a rock and roll singer and a movie star. It was my boy, every woman wanted it.
Do you ever have any problem with people coming to see Elvis and they see black Elvis?
No, I think they think it's unique.
I would say so, yeah. Yeah.
It's been real good for me.
Yeah? In what ways?
A lot of ways. Picking up chicks. You name it, man.
That's all we need to know. Your sex life improved since you've been Elvis?
Oh, gosh.
He was a hard-working young man.
So what was your first show like as Elvis? Was the audience surprised?
They were surprised.
So what do you think it is about Elvis that appealed to you so much?
He had a unique way of singing a song, you know.
He was never wanted by the secret agent man.
So the post office hired you to do a little tribute?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
That was pretty cool, man. That was an honor for me because, you know, you got a lot of Elvis impersonators out there, and they chose me to do it, so that was an honor.
You're probably the first Elvis impersonator employed by the U.S. government.
Probably right.
He didn't scheme the game and fame and fortune.
Do you travel with the backup group?
Yes.
What are they called?
I'm playing with the Flaming Caucasians right now.
The Flaming Caucasians?
I'm out of New Jersey. I started out with a band from my hometown called the White Trash Band. So it was Black Elvis and the White Trash Band.
Did you ever meet the Colonel, Colonel Parker?
No, I never got a chance to meet the Colonel.
I think the Colonel would dig you.
That's why I call him the king.
Were you a big Elvis fan when you were a kid?
Yeah, I was a big Elvis fan, but in my neighborhood, I was in a neighborhood all black, and it wouldn't be pretty cool saying you're an Elvis fan, so I was kind of like in the closet Elvis fan.
Closet Elvis fan.
Yeah, man.
You think there's a support group for that somewhere? Throw out scarves?
Yeah, occasionally I do.
They throw panties up on stage for you?
Occasionally they have.
Get into this business. Where do I get one of these jumpsuits,
Well,
Clarence?
I'll give you mine.
On his face on a postage stamp, he was a hard-working man.
You gotta know that there's something ironic about Black Elvis.
I think some used to take it for a joke until they see the show and they see that I'm really, you know, into it and they're
serious about it.
Serious about it.
Cross the line, other man would dare to cross. That's why I call him the king.
Elvis is like a guide to a lot of folks out there.
Well, it's not like ripping up a picture of the Pope or anything.
A lot worse than that.
Worse than that?
Worse than that.
Look, I don't care what you say about the Pope, but don't mess with Elvis.
That's right, man. I'm serious.
I still couldn't understand why, but Clarence was right about one thing. The Pope didn't get his face on a postage stamp, or a coffee mug, or a pocket knife, or a shot glass, or whatever. And I bet the Pope's picture was never on a series of collectible plates. The first Elvis plate that you painted, 25, 26 bucks?
Yeah.
And that was how long ago?
88 maybe.
About 88?
4 years maybe.
They stopped making them. It's a limited edition. And how much is that one worth now?
I know it's over 120, but I can't pin it down.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I noticed that you tend to do more of Elvis in his younger years. Is there a particular reason for that? Because I would think that you'd make more money with the older years because it'd be bigger. If you did his final concert, that'd probably have to be like a big serving platter.
Yeah.
You know, the Elvis from Jailhouse Rock, you've got his shoes wrong. Now, according to Paul and Elvis Aaron Presley McLeod, Elvis wore Japanese tennis shoes during the filming of Jailhouse Rock. So there's an actual little bit of white rubber in the front of the shoes, and you've got him wearing prison shoes. And frankly, you're out of line.
These are some of the people who might be after me.
I have a feeling that they might stalk you. The Bradford Exchange is going to have to recall all the Jailhouse Rock plates and paint in new shoes. Can you eat off these plates?
No, actually, I think they have contain some lead. So
Under no circumstances should you eat off these plates.
No, no way.
That's too bad. That really doesn't fit the memory of Elvis.
No.
I noticed you're already working on the next one. This must be in the film series, I guess, huh?
Yeah, that's King Creole.
Elvis pulling a knife.
Right.
Yeah, probably not a good image for the king.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be too pointed.
A little edgy.
Yeah, right. But,
well, here's an interesting thing. Now, I guess for a guy who paints plates, this is a big moment. You made the cover.
Oh, of Plate World, absolutely.
Plate World magazine.
Absolutely.
And you know, I like this this comment here from somebody from Graceland after looking at one of your plates. Absolutely drop dead gorgeous, perfect, exquisite, changed my life, the best yet. Give Bruce a new Cadillac.
I'm still waiting.
Well, I have a couple of ideas for plates a little further down in the series.
Yeah.
Maybe a nice image of Elvis shooting the TV set. We'll call it Elvis Enjoys Robert Goulet.
Before the era of remotes, right?
Yeah, right. No remote control. You had two options: get up and change the channel, or blow the hell out of it.
I can understand that.
Well, I couldn't understand why people buy plates you couldn't eat off of, but I could understand why Bruce Emmett would paint them. He gets to watch his paintings grow more and more valuable every day. Usually an artist makes more money after he's dead, like Van Gogh or Gauguin or Elvis. Elvis loved eating moon pies and Pepsi, by the way. It was his favorite snack. Hard to believe a guy who took such good care of himself could die so young. Maybe I just needed some sleep. Or maybe the exhaust was backing up into the car again. But I couldn't even think straight anymore. Slowly but surely, Elvis was more than everywhere. He was becoming everything. He was black, brown, and white. He was young and old. He was animal, mineral, and I hate to say it, even vegetable.
We were working back one day, and we had this big tray of potatoes. We were making twice bakes, and we were standing there forking the tray of potatoes. And as I got ready to stab this with a fork, I looked down, and I saw the face of Elvis.
Did you figure that it was some sort of a sign?
Yep, I thought he was here at the general store live with us. A lot of people agreed it looked like him, and then a guy did an article on it, and
From the local paper?
From the Hartford Courant, and the Associated Press picked it up, and it just went like worldwide, nationwide, and it just started all the calls from radio stations, TV stations.
So you think it made international news wires?
Yeah, we've got clippings from Japan and Germany.
Did people start to come to see the potato?
People were coming in like holding it and taking their pictures outside the store in front of our American flag, holding the Elvis potato.
I'm really curious if any other vegetables or any other celebrities would attract this kind of attention.
Oh, no, I think Elvis is it.
I mean, it's not enough of an amazing thing to see a vegetable that looks like a human being, that
no.
actually resembles somebody that we'd recognize. That's not enough to make people come and look at it?
No.
I don't know. I think,
so.
You find a vegetable that looks like a human being. That's got to be an attraction in and of itself. It had to be
I think
Elvis.
if I had said something like Dan Quayle or something, no one would have claimed it. I mean, this is the Elvis potato. We actually had like people calling once to do T-shirts and photographs and posters of the potato.
Do you think people would pay to see the Elvis potato?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that you can take this potato on tour?
Probably.
Which do you think it looks like, the young Elvis or the old Elvis?
The dead Elvis.
Yeah, it's a potato. It's not doing a whole lot of dancing, is it?
No, it's kind of...
You've presented it very nicely.
One of our customers, Al, brought down the pillow for us. He felt it deserved more of a shrine.
Did you ever think of making fries out of it? Because, the king loved fries.
Actually, we were going to do a raffle for the Elvis potato salad. We were going to let somebody eat them.
Any negative reaction?
Oh, yeah, I got a death threat. And then somebody tried to steal it and hold ransom on it.
The Elvis potato. Well, I think it's safe to say, after actually laying eyes on the Elvis potato, that the king is, as a local journalist put it, gone, but not au gratin. This whole Elvis thing was really getting to me. I was resorting to cheap puns. He was everywhere, even in the produce section. I figured I had seen it all. What more could there possibly be to see about Elvis? And that was before I found the Joni Mabe Traveling Panoramic Encyclopedia of Everything Elvis. This Joni Mabe even makes buttons out of Elvis's hair. I know that sounds strange, but I was in no position to judge anymore. I had driven cross-country to look at a potato.
Well, I personally fell in love with him on the day that he died.
Hey, talk about bad timing.
I still think he's the most beautiful man that's ever lived. That's why I collect anything and all things and everything Elvis.
Looks like a trailer park blew up in this room, I gotta tell you. Well, how many pieces are in this collection?
Thousands. I've never counted them, but I mean, just like this has 1,400 buttons on it.
And how long did it take you to make this?
Yeah, I sat there and did this for a week solid without doing anything else.
It was probably time well spent.
Mm-hmm.
And this one here, this is
This is the Elvis prayer rug, and it's a lithograph, 5-color, and this is one that has been blessed, meaning, I've customized it with glitter and actual human hair. And you can take this prayer rug and do this ritual for 40 days and 40 nights. And if you have any problems like with arthritis or high blood pressure, you do this ritual in the bathroom, and then you send me $40, and your prayers will be answered.
probably answered a few of your prayers too, huh? And how much does the actual prayer mat go for?
I think this one is $800. I did my thesis on Elvis, and they didn't take it seriously, and I almost didn't graduate.
I can't believe they wouldn't take this seriously. Okay, now what's this piece called?
This is the Elvis playpen with Einstein and Jesus walking on the water. When I made this, I mean, it just worked for me. I didn't analyze it.
Well, I have my own interpretation.
Okay.
See, well, because Jesus, the biblical figure, where, of course, we find the commandment, thou shalt not be cruel.
Uh-huh.
And Einstein, who said E equals MCC Rider. Of all of this memorabilia, what is the one piece that you're most proud of in this entire collection?
It would have to be the Elvis wart.
You have Elvis's wart.
Mm-hmm. That's the actual tissue taken from his right hand.
Now, how do you know for sure that that's Elvis's wart?
The doctor said it was that I bought it from. It's worth a lot of money, though. And the longer I keep it, I think it'll be worth more.
Well,
it's like a collectible antique.
Hey, it's like a piece of artwork, right? More than the money, it's the actual beauty of it.
Right.
This is the Toenail?
Right, it's a clipping that I found in the carpet of the jungle room, and I found it in 1983. I got down on my hands and knees, and I was like feeling the carpet because I wanted to feel where Elvis had touched and walked, and so I could get closer to him. And I felt something in one of the little fibers, and I picked it out, and I went outside in the sunlight, and I saw, really looked at it, and I realized it was a toenail clipping. I call it the maybe Elvis toenail because I'm not 100% sure it's his, but I couldn't figure out who else would be clipping their nails.
Could be just a fan who is very fastidious. Halfway on the tour realized, the nail on that is pretty long. I haven't cut it in quite a while. Maybe that's Priscilla's toenail, in which case I'd like to buy it.
No. I mean, there's so much stuff out there to collect. You go to the grocery store and he's on all the tabloids all the time.
This is a particular favorite of mine.
Oh, smell this. Yeah, these are the cow patties that look like Elvis's face. You really cannot get away from him. See, I sort of set this whole thing up like a cathedral. You know how when you walk into one of those huge cathedrals, it's like nothing outside exists. It's like a whole world. And so, I mean, it's huge. That's why I take everything up to the ceiling.
Very few warts in cathedrals.
Anyway, this is different scenes from Elvis's early life.
I see The Prophet by Khalil Gibran over here. What is that?
Supposedly Elvis was reading that when he died in the bathroom. And then later on I heard it was some pornographic material. But either one, I mean...
It's really hard to figure out which one might be true.
I like to go with The Prophet.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between you and me. A quick impression for you. Look at that. Elvis with an idea. I wrote that myself.
He's just the most unique person, and he had this charisma that men wanted to copy and women, loved. And, I mean, he was like this perfect mama's boy and, a good church-going guy. And then he was this wiggling, gyrating thing that gave millions of women orgasms, And in Las Vegas, they had to stock women's panties in the bathrooms because women... used to wet their pants and have to go to the bathroom and buy panties. And he was the only entertainer in Las Vegas that they had to stock panties in the bathroom for.
A lot of people get standing ovations. When you have to give women new underwear, that's a good show. That's a showman. I could sense that my journey was about to come to an end. I had been to a lot of places and met a lot of people. And unlike many of them, I had a life to get back to. So I wondered if the end might not be right back at the beginning. People come here to record just because Elvis recorded here?
Some for that reason, and some because of the many other folks that came here.
So what do you think Elvis was trying to do here? He comes in here, cut a record for his mama.
Yeah.
Turns into this myth, this phenomenon.
What he became known for is a mixture of black and white music, but that was not his early intention. He knew every song Dean Martin had ever sung. Those are the songs he auditioned with, and that's what he perceived himself to be in the future.
Dean Martin.
A Dean Martin-style singer, a crooner.
Yo, Elvis, hey, lady, hey, Elvis, wait for me.
No. It's Jerry Lee Lewis.
Sorry, I'm sorry. You can understand my confusion.
Want to go in?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Well, I figured I'd do a voiceover. I've been thinking a lot about this whole Elvis thing. It was 40 years ago, a simple country boy with only a guitar and a dream stood on this very spot. And now, 2 generations later, people are collecting his toenail clippings and seeing his likeness in vegetables and dung. Wow. I came to realize that Elvis was more than a singer. He was more than an entertainer, more than even just a legend. All the people that I've met have been touched by Elvis. Some touched more than others. I think you know who I'm talking about. But all of them had a little bit of Elvis in them. And I wondered if maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit of Elvis in me, too.
That's a nice car, mister.
Yeah, thanks. Here to see the statue of the king?
Elvis, I don't even like him. I like this car, though. It's nice.
Oh, you're not into Elvis? You're not into the King?
King Schming. He was a Vegas singer with a weight problem.
Man, you're the first person I met who's not into Elvis.
I don't know what all the fuss is about.
You like this car, though, huh?
I love this car.
You know that Elvis bought this car? And he gave it to a friend of his?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he used to buy cars and give them away all the time. It's really something. I mean, a guy who gives you a Cadillac, you'd remember him, right? I mean, you'd remember him for the rest of your life.
Hell yeah.
Hey, it's yours.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Take the car. Take it.
What's the angle? It's stolen, right?
No, it's not. Just take the car.
Ooh, why are you giving me a Cadillac?
Yeah, you'll see. Look, you just got to remember two things. Number one, don't be cruel. And number two, I don't remember what number two is.
Love me tender?
No. It's...
Teddy bear?
No.
Suspicious mind?
No. Just have a good time, all right?
Hey, buddy, you're all right. I'm gonna remember you, man. Woohoo! You're all right, man.
Yeah, I knew that kid would remember me. Because he was about to embark on a mythic journey, the same way I did.
Boy, I wish I could remember that second rule. Oh, yeah, pump the brakes! Pump the brakes!
He was headed to some amazing places, to see some incredible things, and to meet some people who have a passion in their souls, a loyalty in their hearts, and a lot of free time on their hands.